This is Things Police See, First-Hand Accounts, with your host, Steve Gold.
Welcome to Cops in the News, where we talk about law enforcement news stories as reported to us by the always reliable, trustworthy, and honest news media. My co-host today is the great Ben Peters, back again. Ben, thank you for coming on again, man.
Number two,
baby.
Number two.
Yeah, I got good feedback about you. People like you. So, keep it up.
Thanks.
Question for you. Have you seen, or how many times have you seen Sound of Freedom?
I don't think I have.
Oh. Wasn't aware you hated America. You're aware of it, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sound of Freedom is the movie about the child trafficking stuff.
Yeah.
And I really want to see it, but there's almost no way for me to see it because of the hours I work and then family time.
Yeah.
But there is kind of a thing going around the conservative circles of like, if you don't see it, you're like basically un-American. Like, how dare you not see it? Do you like child trafficking?
No.
Then you got to see the movie. That's what I'm told. Know what a cool connection to it, though, is? Past guest, two-time guest, Lorenzo Toledo, great guy, retired special agent. He was a bigwig working in the corporate world, global director of security for a corporation. He left his job and went to work for Operation Underground Railroad, which is a company started by the guy they based that movie on, which is awesome. So I did reach out, and Lorenzo is kind of, obviously, like, it's like all covert stuff, and they're like civilians. They're not law enforcement.
Right.
So he's like,
yeah.
I'm not so sure I can talk about it. But how good would that interview be for the podcast right now?
It'd be awesome.
It'd be great because it's
people would like that.
It's red hot.
Yeah.
It's so hot right now, bud.
Kurt, what's going on?
Kurt Geisner.
Sarah.
The great Sarah
Morning.
Pomeroy, down under.
Good afternoon, evening.
Kurt, author and police officer, former guest, good man, friend of the show. Check him out. Sarah Pomeroy from Down Under, wife of a Aussie policeman. One country, well, there's several countries I've not gotten yet, but Australia is like, I've had a lot of close calls.
Yeah.
Like almost had an Australian guy on and then didn't. It's been kind of rough because their admin is very... I had one guy that got all the way, I got like pretty far with him, and then he wanted me to write some kind of promissory letter to his administration that like the show wouldn't be inappropriate or show Australian police in a bad light. I was like, dude, I don't know if I can. I don't want to get
no guarantees. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to get sued from Australia. Get in front of those powdered wigs. They still wear powdered wigs down there in court. You know that?
Really?
Yes, 100%. Just like
The whole getup.
Yep, like Britain, like the U.S. used to, powder wigs. So you got that now in your back pocket for when you need some info. The great Ken Roybal, Police Applicant Podcast. My main man, Ken Roybal, is here. Ken, welcome. Go check him out. Excellent podcast, helping people become coppers, which we need real bad. I've spoken to you about Ken before, my buddy from LAPD backgrounds. Yeah. Gary, the great Gary Steiner is here. Gary, hello, sir. Good to have you.
What's up, Gary?
Gary's the man. Look at this guy right here. Brandon Crawford. Glad to be able to finally tune in. It's been too long. This guy used to tune in all the time when I was doing it in California, Ken and I. And he just became a Blue Angel. He got chosen to be a Blue Angel pilot. How crazy is that?
It's wild.
Yeah. And he actually promised me that he will take me for a ride in the jet. Beyond that, he said he'd pick me up at my street, so he will land the jet on my street. He's such a big fan. Brandon, congratulations, man. That is amazing news, and I've been bragging to anybody that will listen that a fan of the show is a Blue Angel, so that's really, really cool, man. I'm not a pilot, but thank you. Okay, I guess I was misinformed. Anyways, you're part of the Blue Angels. Get me a ride in the cockpit. Ben, another thing I want to mention to you about Sound of Freedom. I was listening. It's all over the place, super hot right now, and a lot of podcasts I listen to talk about it. One of them was LPR, Lutheran Public Radio, and they had a guy on who was knew all about it, and he was talking about the history of like the weird pushback from Hollywood and the left about the movie. They're trying to say that this movie, Sound of Freedom, is it was based in QAnon and all these conspiracy theories, which is 100% is not. It's based on a true story. And the guy said this movie was made 5 years ago, and it was owned by Disney, and they shelved it. They wouldn't release it. So with the help of Angel Studios, they bought the movie back and released it finally. So it's been that long since they've been holding on to it. But the guy went into the history of Hollywood and sexual abuse and how common it is. And he said it's been going on. Actors and other people like that have been propositioned since Shirley Temple. Shirley Temple Black, I think, is her real name. But you know Shirley Temple. Good Ship Lollipop. Great place for a candy shop. She and her mother at MGM Studios, before they had a contract with MGM to release some movies. And before the release of their first movie, they separated the two of them. Shirley Temple was like 12 and the mom was, I don't know, how old, in her 30s. And they propositioned both of them. Sexual stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously the mom collected her daughter and was like, I mean, this is back in the day. They were like, hell no. So they wouldn't do it. They only released one of her movies in the contract and booted her. These perverts, Ben.
Perverts, man.
Yeah. So Hollywood's full of perverts. I think we all know that, but Lutheran Public Radio confirmed it for me. Do you listen to that, Lutheran Public Radio?
No.
Probably most people don't, but it's a great podcast. It's actually huge. They have like it's on the radio, and it all is also they have like I couldn't tell you how many listeners, 50, 100, 200,000 a month. Like,
wow.
It's large. Actually, fun fact, Lutherans had one of the first syndicated famous broadcast people of any, not just Christian, but of anybody in the country back in, I forget what it must have been the 50s or 60s. He was a famous pastor who was syndicated all over the country, who preached. So that's kind of that was kind of the intro to Lutherans being on the radio. But it's just a denomination of Christianity, men. That's all. Someday you'll see the light, my friend. I'm working on them, ladies and gentlemen. I am. All right, man. We have a bunch of good stories here. It was actually pretty easy this week. The problem is a lot of the stories are pretty in depth. What did Ben say? I mean, what did Ken say about the Sound of Freedom and Try This in a Small Town Cannot Be Canceled? Hell yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing. They canceled that song because he wrote about, who was it? Aldean? Jason Aldean?
Yeah.
Country singer. And it's just about like, don't riot or loot in a small town or else you'll figure out, you get your comeuppance, whatever it is, some country boy way of saying it. Got banned, but like WAP, which stands for Wet Ass Beep, those lyrics are
Totally fine.
Yeah, totally.
It's all fine.
Fine for everybody to hear. It's really upsetting. It's really stifled the start of my country career. I'm having second thoughts now. So the first one we're going to talk about, Ben, is Carlee Russell. So we have a 911 recording of Carlee. What Carlee did, she called 911 and she claimed she was following a toddler on a freeway and was calling to get help for the toddler. And then before authorities arrived, she was gone. And I think she was on the phone with her brother's sister-in-law or something, and they said they heard a scream, and then there was nothing. And she was gone for 2 days, right? Just gone. And then she resurfaced, came home, and she had this kind of fantastical story to tell about what had happened to her. So Russell said that after calling 911, a man emerged from the trees near the highway to say he was checking on the child. She then said the man forced her into a car, and the next thing she remembers, she remembers being in a tractor trailer. This is the chief of police is saying, quoting her. Russell said that the man who kidnapped her had orange hair. The evilest kind of white person. Orange hair, Ben. The whitest of white. with a bald spot, and that she heard the voice of a woman who was with him but never saw her face. At one point, she said she managed to escape from the trailer but was recaptured. Harrowing. Almost made it, Carlee, but recaptured, taken to a house where she was forced to undress and be photographed. After being put in another vehicle, Russell said she escaped again and was able to make it to her home by running through the woods. So there's some details that they don't really describe, like the initial response from police, but something when the cops went there made... You know how it is when you go to and you start taking someone's statement and you're like, this statement's stinky.
Yeah.
This doesn't seem like the truth. So video footage from earlier in that day when she disappeared showed Russell leaving the spa where she worked after her workday, concealing a bathrobe, toilet paper, and other items, like she was going camping or something. Those items, as well as snacks she purchased from Target shortly before her disappearance, were missing, despite her purse and other belongings being left with the vehicle. The chief of police also noted that Russell drove 600 yards while on the phone with 911, saying she was watching the child. It's a fast kid.
Fast kid.
Toddler going 600 yards in that amount of time. And police said they received no other reports of a toddler walking alone. Video footage on the highway appears to only show Russell on the side of the road. So obviously the chief of police says this is kind of weird that a toddler would be out there. No one else reports it. Then they go further. So at this point they're getting warrants and they check her internet searches. So in the days before arrest, she was searching for information about one-way bus tickets, how to take money from a cash register without getting caught. She also looked into whether someone had to pay for an Amber Alert if it went out, a government program that helps people find missing kids. Am I going to have to pay for this? On the day she went missing, Russell apparently searched for the movie Taken. Good research. And Liam Neeson obviously gets his daughter back from human traffickers. So, Ben, what do you think is in this young lady's mind? Why did she do this?
Clout.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think she wanted to like come back and be like, have a story and be able to like social media presence or something like that?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. This is wild.
That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, she wants national notoriety. That's the thing right now with all these generations, you know, with their podcasts and putting themselves out there. But no, really, like and I see it in younger kids in my family that they want to, I mean, who doesn't want to make a six-figure income from their house for saying their thoughts?
Right.
Doesn't that sound awesome?
Sounds great.
Sounds great. I get it. And I'm trying to do that myself. But the kids doing it and young people like her they're absolutely desperate.
Right.
There's no like work ethic. There's no like, this is going to take time. I'm going to have a business plan.
We're going for it right now.
Right. I want it now because that's what they're used to. They're instant gratification. So, you know, like loans people take, you could work for something and save up, or you could have that thing like immediately, but be like $100,000 in debt.
Right.
They go for the loan. So yeah, I think she was going for instant street cred here, you know, kidnap victim. They're not going to look into it because I don't know, X, Y, and Z. They're not going to fact check. My hat's off to the police.
Yeah.
Can't be comfortable. You know, this woman's got this harrowing story. Her mom's backing her up. And then you're kind of like, well,
because you can't just dismiss it completely. You know, you have to operate.
Right.
You know,
you have to follow the breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
You might be like, I'm really sorry for you. We had this victim advocate here for you, and also got this warrant for your phone.
Yeah.
Gonna have to check into this. So
well, it's one of those stories where, you know, they're telling you stuff and you're just like, you know.
Right.
Yeah, fixing your glasses.
Yeah, very good. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's hear the 911 footage.
Please.
911, where's your emergency?
Hi, I am on Interstate 459, and there is a kid just walking by themselves.
Oh, hold on. Where on 459 are you?
I'm right next to the exit 10 by the Hoover Met, like to get off by the Hoover Met.
Okay, so you're before that exit?
Yes.
Okay, and were you headed southbound or northbound? Like toward Tuscaloosa or toward 280?
Towards Tuscaloosa.
Okay, and was the child on the left or right side?
On the right side.
Were they walking northbound or southbound?
They're walking towards Tuscaloosa.
Walking southbound, or how old did they look?
Like a toddler, like maybe like 3 or 4.
Did you pull over with them? Are you still with them?
Yes.
Okay, are you with the child right now?
No, I'm not. I didn't get out of the car.
Oops.
I can see them though.
Do you mind staying and keeping an eye on them until we get there?
Yeah.
Mind grabbing the kid?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, what kind of car are you
Nah, I'm
in?
gone already.
I'm in a red Mercedes-Benz
Is that a sedan or SUV?
SUV. I mean, it's a sedan. Sorry.
Can you put your hazards on for me?
Yeah, they're on.
Okay. Did you talk to the child at all? Or did you say anything
Yeah,
to them?
they have video of her going down the highway at
Do they
like,
look like they're
15,
injured?
20 miles an hour.
No, they don't.
Are they white, black, Hispanic, or Asian?
They're white.
Okay. Is it male or female?
I think it's a boy, a little boy.
White male? Okay. Is he wearing clothes?
She's all in with
Yes.
us.
Yeah.
Okay. What is he wearing?
It's a white T-shirt, and it doesn't look like he has any pants on. It looks like a diaper.
And you don't see any cars anywhere?
No cars are anywhere.
There you go. She had it all planned out, man.
Just a naked kid in a diaper.
On the freeway.
Yeah.
Nobody else stopped. She's the
Did
only
he say-
one.
Nope.
Did you grab the kid? Nah. I'm just following him. So, good luck to you, Carlee. It looks like you're a big liar. So, man, and people are really pissed. And also, Carlee got fired from her job at the spa. I saw that spa owner interviewed, and he said, yeah, like we were terrified for her, and like we had people like going to look for her, like the whole business.
Right.
But when it slowly started leaking out that like this didn't look like it happened, they were like super pissed, obviously.
Yeah.
So you can't. It's Florida, so you can can anybody for anything.
Yeah.
Anyways, but I don't blame them. All right, next one, Ben, is another biggie, another
Brandon. Thanks, Brandon.
pretty involved. What's that?
He says, I too like to watch kids stroll along the freeway.
I just report them and keep going. Let nature take its course. So Rex, how would you say that, Ben? Heuermann?
Yeah.
Heuermann?
Heuermann.
So he's like a 6'4", like 250-pound architect from Manhattan, and evidently a real creep because he's just been arrested for the murder, I think, of 3 people, first-degree murder, and they're charging him with second-degree some other ones. I think it's a total of like 8 or 9 people they think this guy killed
Yep.
over, almost 30 years? Like 25, 30 years, I think. All sex workers, and always when his family's out of town. So you might wonder, how did they put this together? Well, they recovered a male hair from the burlap sack containing the body of Waterman, a victim, which was preserved as evidence in January 2023. In January 2023, they recovered a pizza box discarded by Heuermann. It had been at Manhattan's Fifth Avenue, containing uneaten crusts. So obviously they were surveilling him. Forensic testing revealed profiles of DNA taken from the hair were the same, excluding 99.96% of North American population. So a good hit on that. They later seized cell phone billing records from Heuermann and linking him with a number of phones used to arrange meetings with the 3 victims, as well as making taunting calls to one. What is up with these names, brother? Bartholomew's relatives following her killing. They allege he conducted thousands of searches related to sex workers, sadistic torture, related pornography, along with searching repeatedly about the Long Island serial killer and other suspected or confirmed murders. So, real sick guy. Here's a message he left to one of the sex workers he maybe had seen before, and she just was like, She probably like almost got murdered and was like, I think the second time would be a bad choice.
Hey, this is Rex. I heard you are no longer part of the group. I still wanted to talk to you. I had a question for you. And also wanted to touch base. So if you get an opportunity, you can always try me at the office. Hope you're doing good. Hope to talk to you soon.
Also disturbing, internet sleuths discovered this image on Google Street View. It shows Heuermann speaking to a woman on 36th Street, close to his Manhattan office last summer. And we're learning that a criminologist gave cops a detailed profile of the Gilgo Beach serial killer 13 years ago. It turns out to be an eerily accurate description of
Not
Heuermann.
cool, man.
Profiler Scott Bond.
Unbelievable, dude. Here's the map of... come on. Don't do this to me. There we go. What's happening? Why isn't this working, Ben? There we go. All right. Here's the map of the murders. Pretty close proximity.
Wow.
Dumping grounds. So wife and kids go out of town. Time to call a prostitute and murder her. That's what he was up to. You have to. Is sex workers like the politically correct thing now? Sex worker? That's like everybody's saying sex worker.
Is it? I think it might be sex worker.
Is whore not applicable anymore?
No. It's all done.
So he killed all these whores, and here are their bodies. They didn't deserve to die, but it's a very, very bad and unsavory profession and very dangerous. You might run into a Russ Heuermann, and he may kill you. So that one lady was like, yeah, I'm good. It's creepy to me because he's huge, and he's got that weird like, hey, how's it going? How you doing? How about I pull your eyelashes off later and smash your teeth in with a hammer? So, hold on.
Told the New York Times in 2011 the killer would be a white male in his mid-40s. He is married or has a girlfriend, well-educated and well-spoken, financially secure, has a job, and owns an expensive car or truck. That's Rex Heuermann to a
Look at that hair. Is that
Dr.
not creepy?
Bond spoke with Anne Mercogliano.
What was it about the murders that made you come up with this profile?
He meticulously dismembered these women, bound them up carefully in burlap bags with various ties, and then carefully deposited them in a very secluded area. It takes a very organized type of killer to engage in this type of activity.
Meanwhile, cops have raided a storage facility on Long Island rented by Heuermann. These storage units in Amityville, New York are just 3 miles from Heuermann's house. They rent for up to $600 a month, and police say he rented 2 of them. They are now collecting the contents, looking for any so-called trophies he may have collected from his alleged victims.
We've just started. We're going to continue. We're going to follow through, and we're going to follow that evidence wherever it leads us.
So this guy's screwed, obviously. All I can think about is I wish I had enough money for 2 storage units and live that close to the beach in Long Island. Man, this guy's got everything, except for the whole murdering women. That's a tough one there, Rex. I don't know.
Creepy.
What do you think, Ben?
Creepy. He fits the profile.
Yeah.
Like that look, voice.
Yeah, absolutely.
I see it.
Then you get alone with him, and he's like, putting plastic gloves on. And you're like, what are we doing here? And he's like, shut your mouth. Oh, the weird thing, too, is they think a female was involved, and they think it might have been, like, helping luring some of the people in.
Interesting.
And they think it might have been his mom. I guess he had a real weird relationship with his mom.
You don't say.
Yeah. Moms out there, you can really screw your boys up if you don't do your mom in right. So that's no good. Let's see here. Dax Imus from the UK. Good morning from a very rainy part of the UK. It's always raining there, right?
Good morning, Dax.
That's like Redheadville, UK. Always overcast, cloudy, cool. I like it. Let's see here. When was the last time they caught a serial killer? That's a good question. I don't know. I don't think it's that hard to kill people if you don't tell anybody about it. It seems like every time someone's like running their mouth, and that's how they really get in trouble. But obviously they were onto this guy. I kind of missed the finer points of how they initially... Did someone report him? Damn, Ben. We're doing a bad job with this one. Listen, the guy's creepy. He killed a bunch of women. He's bad. He's going to jail. Those are all good things. Let's see what we have up next. We have, this is a heartwarming one. This is an uplifting video. So I'll just play this.
That is Miami police officer Ernesto Fernandez. This is body camera footage from another Miami police officer arriving on the scene on the edge of the river after Officer Fernandez saves a child's life.
Sees this child walking alongside the river, then...
I'll take it from here, Captain. So he sees this child walking. I guess an autistic kid is like walking along the marina, and then he looks over and kid's gone, runs over, sees bubbles, jumps into a Florida canal, which is pretty ballsy.
Yeah.
Pretty nasty. Probably just stepped on the dead bodies to get to the kid. Yeah, it only went down like a foot. All the corpses in here. But yeah, this is uplifting. This is good. Good police work. Let's see here. Next one we have is fallen officers. So 2 officers remain in critical condition after man launched murderous barrage of fire on Fargo LEOs. Kind of crazy in Fargo. One has died, Officer Jake Whalen, and 2 are in critical condition. So the weird thing about this when I was reading about it was they have no information on this suspect, Mohammed Barakat. Pretty common Middle Eastern name. Like if you Google it, there's like doctors, lawyers, all with that name. But yeah, they don't even have a picture of the guy. There's not even a picture of the guy online at all. He took like EMT classes for like a semester at a local college, and then that was it. So it kind of makes you think like, is this one of these guys that came through the border and had a plan? I think there's been more information on him that I didn't see, that he did have much bigger plans. But the whole point of this one is just to kind of give our prayers to these officers and their families. And thank goodness the guy's been taken out. And yeah, just be careful out there. It's crazy. Fargo. I mean, I know the show Fargo or the movie, but you never hear much of like horribly violent stuff coming out of Fargo, right?
Right. No.
At all. So God bless them. And hopefully they the officers of the 2 critically injured officers, Andrew Dodas and Tyler Haas, are on a path to recovery, and they make a full one. So next one.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Michael Bresnahan. He has, his wife had left him because he was abusive and was, I think, in a shelter hiding from him with the kids. So somehow he located her, stabbed her 13 times, and then ran from the police. So this is that chase. What's cool about this chase is it's really good video that they released. Really good. So let me play it here.
He's going into central maintenance.
Let me set up behind us and set up spikes just in case.
He's coming up at the gate at central maintenance.
Oh, also, by the way, he has an AK-47, I believe.
Going traffic.
Let me go here.
Approaching the bridge. 1 out. Coming up to Rome at the bridge.
You just can't get away from a chopper. It's like effortless.
No, I was literally just thinking that, Steve. I'm like, if you have a chopper, it's over.
Yeah, it's just effortless.
All right, crossing over the bridge. Still probably 40 miles an hour.
They can just hover in one spot with their little camera.
Dry. Got a light rain, and traffic still going to be going eastbound Columbus. Your next major is going to be Tampa.
Here we go.
Northbound on Highlands. He's going to be coming up to you.
I don't remember the timestamp for when this guy wrecks. I think this guy's K9. Boom, there he goes.
Signal 4, Florida and Gladys, Florida.
T-bone accident. They're calling the people out of the vehicles that he crashed into.
They're out of the area.
So they can light this guy up. Starts firing. Watch this car, Ben. This gets lit up.
Oh, it's still over. Oh,
Look
boy.
at this.
Oh, boy.
Lots of hole poking right there. The windshield is just like dot, 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 dot. These boys are just letting it rip.
Traffic.
Everyone got a swing. Scary for Crossfire, too.
Oh,
honestly.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Here's the cops helping people get out. See that high intensity situation. Cops are also still thinking about people standing there. They're grabbing them. They're getting them out of the way.
Yep.
Really, job
Great
well
job.
done there.
Yep.
And they, I think they said the guy may have shot himself, but I'm sure it wouldn't have mattered with the 30 other holes that he had in him. But crazy, man. I always think when someone goes to one of those shelters, a woman goes to one of those shelters, that he's never going to find him. Yeah. But I guess if they have the same network of people, right?
Right.
So they can, if they're really dedicated, they will. But yeah, real piece of garbage there. And he is dead now, so that is good. Not everybody walking around deserves to live. Let's not forget that. Some people need to die, and that he was one of them. So good on those cops. Let's see. Oh, I want to touch on this one. So I want everybody watching to know and listening, mostly listening actually. The rest of the world has the same problems the cops have here. It's the same. It's a lot of the same narrative that's going down. So, and also the sign up here, justice pour Nahel. It's for. Learn how to write. I guess in French, pour is for. Is justice?
Leave him alone, Steve.
Is justice in French spelled the same? I don't know. Well, anyways, he misspelled for and put pour there. So this kid, and of course, same as here, they put the picture up when he's like probably like 13 in this picture, and he looks like kind of awkward and cute kid and whatever. Not really great kid. He's 17. He's into a lot of bad stuff. So what happened was in France in 2017, and this was unbelievable to me, because I just think of like how much more left Europe is than us as a whole. So in 2017, this is bizarre. They passed a law pertaining to police so that police can shoot at a fleeing traffic stop if the driver was putting the passengers or passerby at risk. So for us, it's like imminent, bodily harm or death to us or a member of the public, right? So it's like a pretty high standard to shoot somebody. In France, they're saying, if someone's at risk,
right?
So basically, if the person was driving, basically this kid was driving erratically when he's being followed by police. He almost hit a bicyclist. You're there. If this guy gets away, I don't say I'm not disagreeing with it, but it is a much lower bar than I feel like we have to deal with. You know what I mean? So this kid this is part of the riots over there. First of all, in France, they have a social security system that's much beefier than ours, kind of, where everybody in France used to be able to get to retire at 62. And that comes from a really hefty payroll tax. So everybody pays like 15 or 20%. And the idea of it is good. It's like, okay, so the young take care of the old.
Right.
So when you're working, you pay this big fee, but rest assured, when you're 62, you're going to get your check and you can retire. It's not a lot of money, but it's I don't think it's even as much as Social Security in the U.S., but it's different cost of living standards and all that, whatever. So anyways, they it's that in combination with this kicked off the riots, and along with his mother calling for riots. She's saying, we should have a revolution over my son's death. But according to police records, he was known for 15 mentions in the register of previous judicial contacts, and had been implicated 5 times for refusals to comply and had been charged with refusing to comply the previous weekend. His register of previous judicial contacts included 15 recorded incidents, including use of false license plates, driving without insurance, and the sale and consumption of drugs. So what we have here is a young thug, a drug dealer, who thinks he can do whatever he wants, is totally disregarding the law, and gets himself killed.
Yeah.
Right? And France legalized it. If you run from a traffic stop and you might hurt somebody with your car, they can blast you. And basically, it sounds like this cop had him right at the window. And it's controversial whether he said it or not, but he said, "I'm going to shoot you in the head if you leave." Something like that. And then he did. He tried to leave, and he shot him.
And I'm sure this is going to get, they'll scrutinize all of this. And,
They're going to try.
Yeah. I don't know.
But now with the riots happening, can they really find this cop? Can they really exonerate him?
Yeah.
Because they're literally burning France. They're like mobilizing their military to take care of these people. So it's like the Chauvin thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like everybody who has a legal mind or has read about that, they convicted him way higher. He's doing way more jail time than he should have.
Oh, yeah.
For the circumstances.
Yeah.
And that was all just to not have that city leveled. And that's not really how justice works. It's not, you're not supposed to listen to the mob, So it's a tough spot for France, but just so you guys can see, in France, it's the same. It's the same thing. All the articles from their media I read, and they read just like ours, except for their whatever right wing is more honest. But yeah, it's nuts over there, and they have a lot riding on this. Let's check out the comments here, because I think we're
a lot of good stuff.
Beedly boop. All right, Ben, who did you notice here? Oh shoot,
go up a little bit.
Up a little bit. Ben Stein. Zach Haney says, "What's up, guys? Enjoying my first few hours before night shift again at the jail tonight. Good for you, brother." He's a new CO. Sarah Pomeroy says, "I understand what these officers did. We lost a constable last month after he was run down by a career criminal." Exactly.
Yeah.
You want to lose a cop over something like this, or some lowlife?
Right.
Gary Steiner, same Adam Henry, leftist narrative to cause distrust, hatred towards police and rule of law. Absolutely. Part of their control dynamic. Dak Simons, you got a long one, brother. Is it good? You read it, Ben.
There's a spat of vehicles driving police during vehicle stops. A number of police personnel had bystanders were injured, and a trend was developing where the offender drove off erratically. The pursuit was called off. Yeah, the general outcry in France wanted the police to up the ante and stop these fleeing motorists, hence the law authorizing increased use of force. Yeah, it happens. I mean, for us, if you're, tuning in, I mean, they've restricted almost everything in terms of, pursuits, obviously using deadly force against cars.
Right.
We're not, it's very limited.
Yeah. You have to have, that's the other thing in this case. They're saying the cop was saying his life was in danger because of the car.
Right.
But
next to it. Yeah.
This is one of those cases where, if he did say that, he said the wrong thing, but he's still right.
Right. Because
of the law.
Mm-hmm.
This is what happened with that woman who thought she was tasing somebody and shot them.
Right.
Remember that? And now she's in jail. Cop. Well, she was good to shoot him because he was not complying. He was a felon. He was fleeing. He had done horrible things, right? And he was not showing his hands. Right. Furtive movements. Looks like he was grabbing a knife or gun. But she said, "I meant to tase him." So now all of a sudden, because your intention was to tase, well, you would have been legally good to shoot.
Right.
Now you're going to jail. It's one of those things that you got to be real careful. You got to union up, baby. If you shoot somebody, zip it until you talk to a union rep, because you can really, even if you're in the right, you can be in the wrong. It's no bueno. All right, we're gonna wrap. We got 3 more. They're a little lighter. We're only on 39 minutes. We only have 3 more left, Ben.
These are good ones, though.
All right. Great. You really got to step up your contribution here. You got to talk more. We got to go at least an hour and a half. All right. That's not true. So, black bear attack in Maine. So, let me ask you this. I'm new to this part of Massachusetts, the western part. There are bears. There's never bears on the eastern part. I grew up on Cape Cod. There was one time, a bear. It happened like 4 or 5 years ago. It ran all the way. It swam across the canal. It ran all the way from Bourne to Truro before the EPOs drugged it and took it away. People were so afraid, Ben. I'm not joking. They were. If you heard the bear was in your town, locking the doors, no dogs out, no kids out. Like, seriously, because we don't know anything about black bears.
Yeah.
We're like, there's a bear. It clearly wants to kill us. That's why it's here. It's here to kill Cape Codders. So everybody locked down for this black bear that was just lumbering along the coast, like eating clams and probably having a great time. So that was my experience with bears. And I come to this part of the state.
Yeah.
Freaking bears are everywhere.
All over the place.
I get a call from the chief of the town I live in last week just to tell me there's a large black bear sunning itself like 2 properties from you, and the people have shouted at it and it won't leave. They're habituated. They know our what we sound like, and they don't really care. But the one thing about them is if you do make a loud noise or drive towards them with your vehicle or even walk towards them, they hightail it.
Yeah.
They don't want any part of people.
No.
But if you're at a distance and you're just shouting and it's lying there, they don't really care.
They don't care.
But a black bear to attack somebody is like exceedingly rare. Right?
If it has cubs, maybe.
Yeah, the mama bear thing.
Still,
dude,
very rare.
A guy I used to work with when I used to work part-time, he was in his tree stand and it was getting dark. And in Massachusetts, you cannot hunt and have a handgun on you.
Right. I just learned that recently.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Yes, you can't.
Very weird.
Most states, maybe because we don't have the apex predator problem, really. We don't have like mountain lions or grizzlies. Right. But most states, you can have a handgun on you just for self-protection. But in Mass, you just can't, period.
Right.
So he was on his stand in a tree, and it's getting dark. He's like, I got to go home. It's past shooting hours. And it was archery season. And he looks down, there's a baby bear crawling up his tree stand, and he's like putting his foot on it, pushing it with his foot, and this friggin' thing is just curious.
That's scarier. A baby bear is scarier because you know that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. He goes, my truck is a quarter mile away.
Yeah.
I have to kick this baby bear out of the tree.
Kick it right in the face.
Exactly. He's just like
this baby bear.
He's kicking it, and they're like adorable and harmless, but the mama bear,
right?
They get pissed. So then he got down to the ground. He said it was pitch black, and he said he had the most like harrowing run of his life with his bow and his gear, just running, heart pounding, looking back. Every noise that happened, a squirrel, anything, he was like, ah. He thought it was like the mama bear coming to kill him. But anyways, Ben, you have more experience than I do in this part. Do you have any black bear stories that would cause fear?
No. They don't. They don't, honestly, no. We went to Tennessee recently, Smoky Mountain National Park, and it was like even 10 times more bears in here. It was just like people feeding them. And
yeah,
that's why
they're like dogs.
I heard the story that you told me, and I'm like, wow, it's crazy that people are so afraid of them. I mean, you'll still get people that'll be disconcerted, but it's like, yeah, don't go pet them and you're okay.
Right, don't invite it into your car. So this lady basically, when I read the article, and I read a few articles on it, it sounds like the bear was going after her dog, probably because the dog was pestering it or defending its property. Little dog after the bear. So the dog comes running back, and she makes herself bigger and does all that stuff to stop the bear from coming any further. And the article says, rather than tactfully retreat slowly,
punch that bear.
She punches the bear in the nose.
Yeah.
And then it bites her. Like, yeah. What? Yeah. What?
Because he punched her.
Yeah, you punched the bear in the face. Isn't that even a saying? Don't poke the bear. You poke the bear.
She punched the bear though.
Yeah, she punched it. Not even a poke. Yeah, exactly, Brandon. She effed around and found out. The bear.
Exactly, Brandon. Yeah.
The bear will bite you. I don't know. I find it hard to find fault with the bear in this one. It's like your dog's annoying. You're a crazy person.
Yeah.
And then the bear bit you. I hope the fishing game don't hunt it down. They usually do. If it bites a person, they usually kill the animal.
Yeah.
But hopefully you went deep into the woods. I'll keep you safe, bear, if you come here. I have bears. They ruined our bird feeders. We have a young bear around here. He's a real pain in the ass. What'd she say?
Isn't that what you do? We punch sharks.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's true. They say sharks have like sensitive noses, so if you like poke them in the nose, they'll leave you alone. Can you imagine even being able to think of that when your leg's getting torn off? No. Yeah, we had bears, and I bought my wife. Like I said, we're not bear people. I bought her a bird feeder for Christmas, nice one, and took the whole thing. We never found it. He just took it into the woods, and then like the cast iron thing that it was on the ground was like bent down to the ground, and then he knocked our trash over. We have him on our video camera, on our security camera. It's kind of like loping across. We're like, we're like his bitch. We're like the new people. He's like, yeah. So these people are idiots. They get trash pickup. They have bird seed. The problem is we have goats with a ton of feed in the barn. And I went to where I work. A guy told me that he had one break into his shed and eat all their bird seed. Just went hog wild. What's up with bird seed? They're like seagulls, man. They don't really like hunt or anything. They just like
scavenge around.
Yeah, they just eat like dead stuff. They'll eat your bird seed. Really pathetic. Sad bears. How do they stay so fat?
Her name was Karen. No, I don't know.
Okay, let's see here. This one. All right.
We got the video for this too. Great.
Yeah. This one is a cop pulling another cop over for speeding, which is crazy to me.
Yeah. The cop who's speeding is on his way to work.
He's on his way in a marked unit. Yeah. Granted, I will say this. He is going really fast.
Yeah.
He's going 80 in a 45, which is dumb. It makes me think, because at the very beginning of this video, you hear the guy say something like, it sounds like he may have had a problem with this guy. Like, listen to this. So I'm going to show you the video and then what happens.
He's the guy that...
Hear that? He's the guy that... he doesn't finish that sentence. So it makes me think, like, is this guy always doing this and has been told not to type of deal? You know what I mean? He's being a prick. So now the cop, he's trying to pull over past another car. He puts on his own emergency lights.
Now it's all awkward.
He's like, dude, I'm a cop. I got my lights on. So this cop can't even fathom why the guy's trying to pull him over.
Pull over.
He's talking to himself. Pull over.
You gonna pull over? Pull over.
This is great. And awful.
3113 to...
Gets out. He's approaching the other cop.
I am going into work, my man. Why are you trying to pull me over as I'm going into work?
Because you're going 80
Yo, my man.
Going into work.
Okay, where are you going
to work? What does it look like I'm dressed for? What does it look like I'm dressed for?
My name is Deputy Hilton, and they see your driver's license.
No, he's like,
okay.
no.
3113, copy at 1050. 10-4, I got a city...
People driving by.
Taking off from
What the
a
fuck's
traffic
going
stop.
on?
It's going to be...
Dispatch is like, why the hell are you pulling a cop over?
Everybody's confused.
Yeah. There's nothing in most of these states' law. There's nothing that keeping you from being pulled over in a marked unit. You can be stopped in a cop car by another cop. You can. You could be you could be stopped by someone on your shift. They could write you a ticket. But I just think it's like, you know what? It's not the road to take. It's like, if the guy's being dangerous or he is endangering the public, or you think he's like his speeding is excessive, call supervisor.
Yep.
go that route. But you have to know it's going to be confusing for a cop in a marked car if you start trying to pull him over. I don't know. That deputy seems kind of like a hard-on. I don't know. It's just not the way I would handle it. What do you think, Ben? What would you do? What would you do?
It's like you said before when we first started it, right? I'm sure they've gotten complaints, right?
Seems like something with this
Orlando
guy.
car, that's driving fast in the area, and he just finally saw him, and today was the day. I don't know, man.
Yeah, it could be. He sits there every day doing radar for whatever, and he's already said, like, hey, man, slow this guy down. He's being out of control. And in that case, it's obnoxious. It's like that's disrespectful the other way.
No official comment.
Okay. You're not going on record for this one?
I don't know, man.
It's a tough one because we don't have all the information.
Right.
But it's just painful to watch. It's just rough. I don't know. I've had like I've always heard of like other cops pulling other cops over, and there was even a dispute at one time. It's happened a few times in Massachusetts where the state police and the local police are kind of after each other and pull each other over in their cars, which is crazy. Like a trooper goes through your town, you pull him over. Yeah. Here's your ticket. It's like, but then what do you think is going to happen when you leave work in your personal car?
Right.
You don't think the state police is going to reciprocate that? That happened on Cape Cod, and it got really bad to the point where the chief and the lieutenant of the barracks had to like. It was before my time. It was when my dad was a cop. But they had to have like a sit down and be like,
guys, stop.
This needs to end. Because the chief and the lieutenant thought it was ridiculous. It was all like a road level thing. But guys, can't we all just get along? Same team, fellas. Firefighters, have at it. They're always coming in their little call cars going too fast. Doesn't in a call firefighter's car, and I'm not saying I would pull over a firefighter, but they're supposed to go the speed limit in their personal vehicle, but they can have the red light for people to move over.
I've been passed before by people responding to the station to the same call.
Right. It doesn't give you license to like for police, it's written in the law. We can exceed the speed limit in performance of our duties. We can break the speed limit. Right. And we have to. Because if someone passes you at 60 and a 40 and you're running stationary radar, you're not just going to go up to 40 miles an hour and be like, well, I'm going to catch them eventually. All right, so I thought that one was pretty interesting. The last one is it's just a service announcement for everybody out there. People are eating laundry detergent again. So you remember the Tide Pod thing?
Oh, absolutely.
What was with that? Was that for getting high?
Yeah.
It gives you some kind of
psychedelic kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but it can kill you.
Yeah.
Man, good thing we found that out. Eating laundry detergent can kill you. Well, people are all over TikTok now, and they're eating borax, which is made of like chemical compounds that are found naturally, but it does also like core out your body and make you like a dum-dum and can kill you.
Shocker. But
I think this is like, look at the lady on the right there just downing the thing. I think this stuff is happening because of we're becoming like a low trust society. Like people just don't believe the experts anymore in any subject. Like I second guess my doctor all the time. If I go to my doctor and he says something like, sounds dumb. Like, really? You know what I mean? Like, and they're wrong a lot of the time is the problem.
Yeah.
Or because they don't care. They'll just be like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Or you tell them your concerns and then they don't give you the test you want. Right. It's like, it's annoying. So it's not like my mom. My mom goes to the doctor and if he was like, yeah, we need to vaccinate your eyeballs, she'd be like, okay. I guess that makes sense. You know what I mean? She's just a sweet lady who totally trusts establishment everything because that's how she was raised. That's what people used to do. I think that this branches off of that where people are like, well, this compound has been shown in like laboratory tests of mice that it could, which is, a mouse's body is not a human body, everybody. Could reduce inflammation or whatever. So they just start putting it in their smoothies. And like, but on this one, like, everybody is saying no. Like, the holistic people, the MDs, the company that makes it is like, please stop putting borax in your body. It's unbelievable. Would you do it?
No.
I'm just trying to get you to say something.
I'm trying to think about what the next thing is going to be that people are going to eat.
Yeah. What is there out there that is like kind of natural? You know what people are doing for a while is they're eating essential oils, which I guess has some validity. But when you think about it, like lemon essential oil, like this is 10,000 lemons. Do you think you're supposed to drink? You know what I mean?
No,
It's
yeah.
like, is your body supposed to process 10,000 lemons?
I just want to know the first person that did a Tide Pod, what their thought process was. That'd be an interview, right?
Yeah. It's got to be, I'm thinking,
just doing my laundry, you know. and
deep
I was
south maybe, or no offense to Southern people, but you know, Appalachia. I don't know.
What if I just ate one?
Yeah,
you know,
they do look kind of good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Don't they look like a little, like one of those little like gel candies from the 80s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it was like a plan thing? Like, you know, I know the components of Tide Pods and it's going to do this and that. Or do you think it was someone that was just like,
Yeah. Like, do you realize this has 2/3 the compounds is
Right.
crystal meth?
Yeah.
Like we could seriously make out on this.
so do you think it was that, or was it just
I don't know. I wish I knew.
drunk guy, dude, eat a Tide Pod?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hold on one second. Let me see. I never really do this, but let me see if I can.
Oh boy.
Let's see.
Tide Pods and
What should
punching
I
animals.
Google? Why did people eat Tide Pods? Why teenagers? Harvard University.
Harvard, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, look, they look delicious. I mean, look at that. It's like a mint. With
I
some
concur, sir. It you know.
mint with cream. Teens are eating detergent pods. It's not like they don't know it can be dangerous. Besides the fact, it's common knowledge that detergent isn't food. Right. Dangers of toddlers got them. They can be lethal. Oh man, this is such a Harvard-y article.
And you know that there would be people at these like stores. I'm thinking of like Target for my image, where like there's a cashier and just kid comes up with a container of Tide Pods, some monsters, and she's like, "Oh God."
Today's teens have potentially millions of people watching and egging them on. Mostly people they didn't choose who are not there in person. So they're saying this is like a peer pressure thing. Come on, Claire McCarthy, MD. Gave me nothing. New York Magazine, think they'll be any better? Let's see what New York Magazine can tell me. Do I dare to eat a Tide Pod? I hope this reporter ate one. With any adult with a half-functioning brain will tell you the answer is no.
We need to do it.
Oh, I hope they ate it. Why are teenagers need to be eating or pretending to eat or vaping Tide Pods?
Bath salts was a thing too.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They're saying it's mostly a joke. Been joking around about eating Tide Pods for years. It's a tale as old as time, Ben. I'm not eating them, throwing it over my shoulder. I don't know. This is a question that's impossible to answer, and we're never going to know. We're never going to get to the bottom of it. Is there anything else you want to share before we get out of here?
No, Tide Pods and punching animals.
Right. Yeah, it was a good one. I thought this was a good, we had some good stories in there. We went 59 minutes so far, so we made it.
Yeah.
It went good. An hour, guys. Thank you for joining us as always. Well, we got some comments here. Let's go through these before we get out of here. Give some love to, darn it, I don't mean to do that, guys. Milligan's Island. Wonder if it was a cocaine bear. Yeah, I heard about that movie.
Yeah. Have you seen it or no?
No. Have you?
Yeah.
What's the gist of that? The bear, like a plane crashes and the bear eats cocaine?
In the title.
That's it, huh?
Yeah, cartel, Colombia kind of thing, I think. And cocaine falls out of the plane, lands on the ground. This bear eats it, and less funny than I thought it was going to be. The bear was mad.
Oh no! Did he take some people out?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
It's not a true story though. I heard it's not true. It's just like an idea.
Yeah.
Can you believe pitching that in Hollywood? What if a bear gets super high and gets all yacked up and kills everybody? They're like, yeah, we got nothing. This sounds good.
I think everybody watching should definitely watch it though.
It was good, entertaining.
Oh yeah,
it was good.
Yeah.
Okay,
it wasn't good. That's an interesting word. Yeah.
You're not going to get an Oscar anytime
I'll stay
soon?
with entertaining.
Okay. Kurt Geisner says, if you and your friends are getting chased by a bear, you don't have to be the fastest runner. Just
don't be the slowest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's so true. I am quite slow myself. He's a bro cop. Look at that undershirt. Oh, the guy he pulled over. This is something you handle with a phone call. Exactly.
Yeah.
Seth Milligan, my man. Milligan's Island, by the way, new podcast out. Former guest on the show and guest of Cops in the News prior, Seth Milligan. He's a Southern officer, really good man, and also a not pastor, but minister, I would say.
Seth, I like the graphic.
Yeah, it's very cool.
It's cool.
He's a great dude and great Christ-focused podcast geared towards police. So check that out if you're a believer. If you wear an Under Armour shirt and just a vest, come on now. That's true. I've never seen that before. Do you think he's just going into work and then like he's going to put the uniform shirt on but wants to wear the vest because he's in the car?
Maybe it could be a policy. I don't know.
Yeah, it is a policy most places.
Or he could be a unit guy. I don't know if they all take their cars home.
Right. Sarah Palmer says loves the feel of the vest rubbing on his nipples. Maybe. Brandon, wasn't this a movie based in Vermont? He's talking about the bear one?
Yeah. It's like a horror movie almost.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah.
Just let them do it. It's natural selection making a comeback. That's from Sarah. Brandon, have you not seen My Strange Addiction?
Oh man, do they do a Tide Pods? Brandon, do they do a Tide Pods Stranger Addiction thing? I've seen some weird stuff on that.
Gary
show.
Center says Tide Pods equals what prepped adult children for COVID vaccinations.
Oh my God.
Come on, do it while being alive. Get them likes and views. Exactly. Follow me. That's why you stage your own kidnapping. Start your YouTube channel and skyrocket. Sky's the limit, baby. Hey, leave my neighbors alone down here in the South. I know. I'm a jerk. I'm an idiot. Watch it, Steve. Yeah, I know. My Southern comments are getting people upset. But you guys, I've heard your stories. I also said Appalachia.
Was it based on a true story?
Maybe she was high on Tide Pods when she fought the bear.
No, Brandon, now that I'm reflecting, there's probably no episode on Tide Pods. I feel like they wouldn't do that. But there's some weird shit on My Strange Addictions.
I've never seen it. Is it a YouTube thing or?
No,
TV?
it was like a regular on TV thing.
Okay.
Just weird, like eating toilet paper and
like weird.
Just
weird addictions.
Yeah, just really weird.
That's weird. That's gross. All right, everybody. Well, that's the show, Ben. That's Cops in the News for this week. Thank you for joining us. Love doing the lives with you guys. Love having the interaction. If you're listening to the podcast, this is also a YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. There's also an Instagram you can go to and follow. We have over 1,000 Apple Podcast reviews now, which is a milestone I've been looking forward to for a few years with the podcast because I've said before, like when I started the podcast, when I saw Apple Podcasts, when I saw podcasts that had over 1,000, I was like, that's crazy. Like that's a lot of people listen to get 1,000 reviews because it's like getting blood from a stone, getting a podcast review. And I'm not blaming people because I myself listen to a ton of podcasts and I never review them. And I love them. So, it's a really cool threshold we passed. And I'm super excited about it.
The lady who drinks her own pee. Oh,
God. Who's that?
It's a strange addiction thing.
Oh, gross. All right, we'll end on that. Lady who drinks her own pee.
Yeah.
Ben, can we... do Do you have socials you want to give out yet? Or are you still kind of like planning stage?
There's gonna be stuff.
All right. Yeah. Ben's got something in the fire. He's got an iron in the fire he's working on. He's not ready to talk about it.
I like to keep people on the edge of their seat.
Right. Everybody's wondering, what is Ben going to do? We'll keep you updated. Great show as always. Thank you, Kurt. Love this and miss doing this. We got to get more people in here. Thanks for everything. Thank you,
Thanks, Brandon.
God bless your brother.
Yes.
Ben, we can be BFFs. There you go, man. You just made your new best friend. Perfect. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Cops on the News. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next time.